Welcome to 50 Plus Tech. Today I'm going to talk to you about my experience with my very first 3D printer. I've had it for about 6 weeks. It was gifted to me. It wasn't really something I would have necessarily gone out and bought on my own, but when I received it, I went through a bit of a journey. It's a good journey. But at first I was thinking, oh, well, that's really sweet. I will go ahead and maybe print a few tchotchkes. I printed some tchotchkes, but I didn't realize how involved I was going to get in the actual 3D printing. And I did quite a bit of things that I didn't think I was going to be capable of doing. That is, the 3D printer that we chose was actually a kit. So I think I had to build about 50% of it. There were a few times when I wanted to throw the printer through the window. When we get to bed leveling, then you'll have an idea what I'm talking about. But today's video is just going to be the things that I've printed and kind of an overview of what I learned and whether this is something that you might want to pick up or not. So to start, let me just give you a quick overview. So I received the printer, came in a box. I took off the foam and it was in multiple pieces. It was the bed, it was the extruder that the filament comes out of. It was all these different pieces and I had no idea what to do there. So I took all that stuff out, figured out how to put it together. And then I had to learn to level the bed, and that was an issue. Yeah, I was ready to just give up on it at that point. Trying to get my first print, which I'll show you, was not lovely. And I figured, oh, this is not for me. I'm not going to be able to do this. It just seemed to, I had already gone through 5 or 6 hours just building the printer because there were a couple challenges in there, and I'll show you again a little later. I'll show you what that was. Trying to make sure that the vertical bars were correct. I put the extruder on upside down. I had issues with trying to get the extruder lined up. There's a little vertical bar that you put it on, vertical, I don't know, we call it like a stick. You put it on, and so that took me a while to get, and I got it built. I got the bed level. I started printing. So my first print, that's what it looked like. My second print, I printed this little square, so that was fun. Oh my gosh, look, I just printed, so that was cool. And then I tried to print a snowman because I love snowman. My last name is Snow, so I collect anything that has snow on it. And so, as you can tell, he has a spaghetti head. So basically the thing on the extruder was dragging it all over the bed. So that, I said, okay, fine. And then, and I don't even remember why there was a problem. It just latched onto it and just was dragging it around. And then I went, okay, well, maybe if I turn on supports. So I turned on supports, and if you look, he looks like the man in the Iron Mask snowman. This is all covered with the supports, and I could not get them off. And then I printed this guy a little bit later, and he turned out okay. In fact, he was my first really good print, so I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. I can print tchotchkes. And then I printed another one, and we all know what that looks like. Yeah. And I tried printing some earrings, little musical note earrings, and they're cute, but the problem with this one was that it's a little too thick up there, so it was hard to get the hooks on, but I plan on printing some jewelry and stuff. And then I printed a vase. And I absolutely love the silk filaments that they have, which are just, it's almost like the I crochet too, so it's almost like the yarn that changes color as it goes along. So the filament, I think I have a rainbow one in here so I can show you in a minute. But this was great, beautiful. I'm like, oh, but it's not really a vase. What the? You know, it was all filled in and I wasted a bunch, and turned out that there's a vase mode in the slicer that you use when you pull down a file. And then you have like a software program that you can use to slice it so that it can be put on the either on the SD card you're using, or on, I'm using an octopi now, which we'll talk about in another video. I've got one coming up where I put together the Raspberry Pi and I put octopi software on there, and I've been using that ever since, and I'm learning how to use a camera so I can create the little time-lapse printing videos. Then I printed this. These are just my artificial flowers, but this was one of my favorite ones. And look how pretty that's, again, using one of the, so I thought that was really neat. So that's when I started getting excited about possibilities in the 3D printing, because I could turn out things that just look this pretty. And then I did a few of these once I learned how to put vase on. And this is also, I don't know if you can see the difference in the colors. This is more of a copper looking one. So I went a little crazy and I printed like 3 of these. I think it was 3. Yeah. And so you see there's a little bit of purple on the bottom. And then I printed, this is a bed leveler, which was helping because I was struggling with keeping the bed level. I've gotten much, much better at doing that, so I don't need this as much. I've figured out, you know, how to do that, and I will do a video just on that aspect of it. Then I printed for my sister. Oh no, I printed this next. This is actually, I was trying to find things that are functional that can be used. And this is basically an SD card. You can just these kind, and then you can put USB sticks in here. And I printed this and it came out really, really nice. I don't know, oops, I'm trying to show the air. So I did that. And then I printed, these are for opening up cans. You know, I don't have one in front of me, but you do it like this on the top of a green bean can or a corn can or whatever, and you put under here and you just go like that, and that helps when you're older and you're struggling to open these pop top type cans. So I printed like 3 or 4 of these, gave one to my sister. We've got one in the kitchen. And then it was, you know, it was Christmas time, so I made my sister, and I'm going to put it up here, I printed a couple ornaments that you could put a picture in the middle with a frame. So they were snowflakes. I printed 2 of those for her boys. And then I printed a gyroscope star, and I'll put a picture of that here. So I guess my point here is just to show that there's a lot of other things that you can do with a 3D printer versus just tchotchkes. This is functional. I'm planning on printing some, what do you call it? Some little corner bookshelves to come up here, because this is my new studio area that I put together. It's in my office, but I just set aside a corner, and I'm going to start putting more stuff out here so it looks a little less blank on the walls. So I'm going to print a corner shelf right there. But yeah, so a couple of my fails. This is an absolutely adorable little snowman ornament, but it got stuck to the bed. So that's another issue to worry about, is them getting stuck. And then this was printed, I printed these both at the same time, the snowman and this little vase. I went to take this off, to pop it off, and I guess I don't know my own strength, and I pulled it too hard, so it busted. So today the video is just talking head. Hey, this is what I've got, this is what I'm doing. I've got some other videos coming talking about the things I learned about 3D printing. I've got a video coming on how to put the Raspberry Pi together, and then I'm going to do the video on how to set it up. And I also printed, I don't know if you can see that from there, I also printed the camera mount. And the camera mount is for the camera. But this is so I can do time lapse. So this is just a start. Subscribe and like if you'd like to see more about my experience with it. It was a bit of a challenge, which it typically is for me anyway. And we'll talk about whether or not, if it's something you should pick up as a hobby. The one thing that's got me still going is I love the colors, and I'm finding lots and lots of things that I can print that I would typically go out and buy. Aha! Ha ha ha! I found it! Alright, so here is, I've already used, this is the original one that I used that created this vase. See the vase? Which one was this one again? Silk Rainbow. So this was one that I used for this and all of these. So all 5 of these vases were printed from this filament. And look at how different they are. There was, I guess this was smaller. I did notice there were some boo-boos on this, a little bit of little weakness here on this one. But I'm learning each time I print something, how much of a challenge, figuring things out. There's something else I can do. I'll show on the next one. And we'll talk about other stuff too. And I almost forgot. This was my most recent print, and I absolutely love it. The gyroscope that's on there, I didn't realize was a gyroscope, and I was playing with it, and I popped it and thought I'd broken it. So this is the most recent one, and I thought that was kind of neat. 2021 with a little gyroscope and then a vaccine needle in the end. So this is another one of the things that I printed, but I'm finding a lot more things that I'm planning on printing. So this was definitely worthwhile to buy and to build and to work with, and I'm looking forward to learning more.